So, Antonio, what does it mean to end your career on such a high note in your hometown?
It means everything. Being able to end it in Jacksonville, like you said, especially through all the things that I went through, and then ending it with a win was a feeling that, would last forever. So it was super special for me and my family, and then for this program.
You took a picture, I believe that was with your nephew
Yeah,
in post game. He won I guess, like Gator Bowl last month with the Little League.
yeah, uh-huh. He's won more games in that stadium than I did.
How was that moment sharing with him? And he seemed pretty happy with himself.
Yeah, you see, he was flexing the ring already. So yeah, he was excited, and um, he's got to come to a few of my games this year. So he always tries to make it to all the games as much as he can. But he has his own games on the weekend. So the minute he has off or doesn't have a game, he's in Virginia or wherever I'm playing.
One thing for me, one more thing. After the game, you and Chandler Morris were hugging and talking a little bit. Did I overhear him calling you Thomas Jefferson?
Yeah, nah, he was saying that like Thomas, like he was saying something about like just making history and stuff like that, and doing something that hasn't been done here in a while. He wasn't calling me Thomas. I don't think he
Okay.
was calling me Thomas
I
Jefferson.
was like, wait a second. Okay. I
Nah,
appreciate it,
yeah,
Antonio.
of course.
David?
Antonio, you mentioned making history. What does that mean to you and your teammates to literally be the first in Cavaliers annals to win 11 games?
Oh, it means everything. Like you said, just making history and being the first team at UVA here to win 11 games. And people, they had us ranked 14th at the beginning of the year to finish. So, like, that alone, just being able to accomplish the goals that we accomplished is, something special. And that just shows you the type of team and what we had this year. And it's like being able to say that you're the first to do something is special. And we're able to say that for the rest of our lives, for sure.
And then going back to Saturday night on the field, Missouri takes that first possession and drives for a touchdown. And then afterward, you guys pitch a shutout. What happened those last 55 minutes? Did you guys make adjustments, or was it just a matter of getting accustomed to what Missouri was doing?
Really just getting accustomed to it. We didn't play I think it was from Saturday, it was 21 days since we played a game. So it was really just getting our feet wet again and just getting, back in our groove. So that's why, Missouri did a great job that first series to put us on our heels. And, they made the plays and we didn't. But after that first series, I feel like we got settled in as a defense and we were able to roll for the rest of the game. But that's all it was. We were just knocking off some rust because we haven't played in 21 days.
Thank you.
Preston?
Hey, Antonio, you started off your career obviously on a high note with that Orange Bowl back in 2019. To kind of go through everything from 2020 on to get back to this point, how difficult was it, and just how did you kind of remain faithful that, Virginia would get back to a point like this?
It was difficult, obviously, just because of all the ups and downs. But I made a promise to Coach Elliott, and I made a promise to Miss Carla Williams that we're going to get this program back where Virginia football belongs. And I feel like that's what we did. But it took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of commitment from all the guys and everyone on staff and everybody in this program. But yeah, it's really just believing in starting what you finish and or finishing what you started and um, sticking to my promise that I made to Miss Carla, saying that we were going to win a bowl game before, I left here, and we are going to, do something special and make history.
I'm sure you didn't think it would take 7 years.
Oh, nah, nah. Yeah, I didn't think that, but, everyone's story is different, and, God wrote this one. I can't even describe it, to be honest with you, just because, if you would have told me 3 years ago we would have been in this position, I would have told you you're crazy. But, you know, everything happens for a reason, and I'm glad that I was able to be a part of this team this year, despite that it was my seventh year playing college football.
As you get ready to sign off on your career here, where is Virginia football now, after an 11-win season like this?
Oh, I actually told Coach Elliott yesterday. I told him that I texted him over the phone, just thanking him for everything and stuff like that. And then I told him like there's a new standard for UVA football. Like postseason is the floor now. You know what I mean? So like you have this type of season that it's the expectation moving forward of nothing but special things. So yeah, I told Coach Elliott there's a new standard here at UVA and the postseason, the floor.
Mike and then Jackie.
Yeah, congratulations, Antonio. Good to see you again.
Appreciate you. Yep.
I'm curious, as you look back on that journey that you were just talking to Preston about, what worked this year that maybe didn't click other years? Obviously, there's a lot of roster turnover. Why was this year the one that it came together?
This year, I mean, I feel like this has been the closest team I've been a part of, from top to bottom. Like obviously we brought a new guy, a lot of new guys in, so it was going to take some time to gel. But from January to now, we were spending every day together. We were putting that work in together. We were going through all the adversity together. But I feel like the locker room has been the closest locker room that I've been a part of, and I've been a part of a lot of years here. So like having that connection and having that bond with each other was special, and that's what honestly continue to help us throughout this season through all that adversity was just the bond and the love for your brother and knowing that it's bigger than you and you're playing for the man to the right of you and to the left of you.
So when you have this special bond that is more than it's been in your other 7 years, the highest it's been, you had so many new players. How can Coach Elliott and his staff replicate that, do that again?
Well, just, it starts from, the foundation phase and, starting in January of, whoever they bring in, if they bring, I'm sure they're going to bring more guys in just because of the new era of college football. But, I believe a lot of guys are returning as well. And, being able to experience what we experienced this year, the guys that are returning are going to be able to, help Coach E and his staff turn that over again with the new guys coming in and, and keep the standard the standard. So I think it'll be pretty smooth transition for them next year. And, I'm excited to see what it looks like.
And as you kind of figure what's going to be next for you, do you have a role with UVA football? Or are you somebody who's going to be around?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely will be around. My girlfriend still plays volleyball here, but I'm gonna I'll do all the draft stuff and all the training, and then see what's next after that. But yeah, I'll definitely be around for sure.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I was actually going to follow up on Mike there. Are you going in a particular facility to train for the draft? Have you already kind of chosen that path?
Not yet. I still have some things to figure out with this knee right now, but um, so I'll figure that out in a couple weeks. But right now, I don't. I have a few spots that like I've been in contact with, and we have like things set up, but like nothing like confirmed yet.
My next is you played probably the most, I think you played the most snaps this season in this game. How did that feel for you to be able to do that on on that turf?
Oh, it felt good. Especially being able to do it in Jacksonville, play every single play and feel healthy playing every single play was super huge for me. And I was definitely tired at the beginning just because that's the first time like this season that like I was in at the beginning of the game and they were going tempo and stuff like that. So I had to like adjust. But yeah, I was just happy that I was able to, finish my UVA career in Jacksonville and be able to play a full game and make a huge impact in the game as well.
You had your hand in also helping some of these young guys, like because of your injuries, you're in the film room with them, helping them a little bit on the side. Who has impressed you the most of some of the guys who are coming up through the program?
I'll say like obviously guys like Ethan Minter, he's a young guy. He's a second year, but we look at him as an older guy, as a senior, and he's taken over that leadership role now of it's his room. And you got guys like Montino Williams who's stepped up big this year on special teams and showed a lot of potential in practice and stuff like that. So that kid has a bright future. He's hungry. He's He's always asking questions. He always wants to learn, and he's always in the film room. So guys like, Montino Williams, Josiah, Perzinger, Lucas Sanker, like all those guys are up and coming, and, they have a lot of hunger in them, and, all they do is want to learn and get better. So, that room definitely has a bright future, and I'm excited for guys like that to step on the field next year.
Final thing for me, Corey Cosner has seen his development really, really skyrocket. He had more playing time towards the end of the season. What
Yeah.
made him so, different?
I can't believe I forgot him. But yeah, yeah, he just, he came in early in January and he put in the work, and, he didn't care that he was a young guy. He wanted to play immediately, and, he constantly put in the work in the weight room and in the film room, and then it showed on the practice field. So then over time he was able to, increase his playing reps in the game, and, he made the plays that came to him, and he did what he was supposed to do. So, that kid's super talented. He's athletic. He has a lot of raw talent, but, once he developed more as a football player and continues to stay in that film room, he's going to be a very special player.
Thank you.
Mike and then David.
Yeah, Antonio, not everyone uses their 5th year. Fewer people use their 6th year. Even fewer people use their 7th year.
Yeah.
Have you had conversations, or do you think you will, with guys who are maybe in a similar position who might come to you for advice? And what would you tell them about extending their time in college?
I would say, I would tell them, like, just you got to do what's best for you. I mean, obviously I was dealing with injury, so it was best for me to stay and continue to play just so I can recover and stuff like that. It didn't make sense for me to declare for the draft, and I was dealing with an ACL injury, so I wasn't going to be able to do anything. But yeah, everyone's situation is different, so you just got to, do what's best for you. But if guys come up to me and ask me, like, about coming back for another year, man, I'll just tell them, like, if you're going to do it, you gotta have to do it. Like, you gotta have to go full throttle and be committed, and, because it's a grind, especially when you do it for 4 years. But if you want to do it for 5, 6, or 7 years, it's a grind because you're still doing school. You're still on a college schedule. Your body's beat up. You still gotta do all, like, the workouts and all the extra stuff that you have to do on top of that throughout the day. But yeah, you just gotta, if you're gonna put your mind to it and you do it, you gotta be all in. That's what I was just telling them. But it's really just doing what's best for them and their future, really.
And then last one for me, this Virginia program in Charlottesville so well. If other players from other schools reach out to you to say, "Hey, Virginia is a school I'm considering transferring to," what would you tell them about UVA and the program?
Hey, I tell them get on board now because this program's trending in an upward direction, and they ain't slowing down either. So, but yeah, it's Charlottesville's a special place in my heart, and for guys that want to come here, I'll tell them the same thing. Like, Charlottesville is a special place. This program is special, and Coach Elliott and the staff is best of the best, and you're not going to find a better head coach that loves you for who you are and wants to see you successful no matter what. More than Coach Elliott. So I was telling them, man, if anybody ever contacts me about UVA football, man, it's nothing but good things, and this program's heading in the right direction for sure.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for doing this.
Yes, sir.
Antonio, along those lines about Coach Elliott, it seems counterintuitive to think that a team that brought in so many new players would then become so close so quickly. What role did the coaching staff play in forging those bonds among the newcomers and the veterans in the locker room?
Oh, I mean, he just, obviously we had the new dining hall facility. So, like, we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner in there every single day. So, like, he made, what I'm saying, you were required to sit down and spend time with your teammates. And, we had the lounge area and stuff like that, where there's, the PS5s, you have basketball, you have pool, you have ping pong. So guys were in there all day. If they're not in class, they're in the facility hanging out together. So whether it was in the locker room, just chilling because we have the big TVs and all the couches and stuff like that, or in the lounge playing basketball, pool, or ping pong, or playing the video games, or just hanging around eating or something like that. So Coach Elliott really encouraged, like, spending time with each other in the facility when you're not in class or not doing anything academic wise. And then I think the big thing too was in previous years, we were a morning schedule. So we'd have everything from 7:30 to 11:30. And then after that, you'll do your class and go on about your day. But moving to an afternoon schedule, it allowed you to finish all your academic from 8 a.m. to 12. And then we were hanging out with each other from 1 p.m. all the way until 9 p.m. at night because of practice and meetings and recovery and stuff like that. So I think the change in the schedule was a big part of it too, but also just continue to encourage guys to just spend time with each other. And like I said, everybody gelled together too. So like, we wanted to spend time with each other and we didn't get bored at all. So like, that's what I think that was a big transition of, just, hanging out with each other and Coach Elliott just instilling that in us.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for Antonio? All
Izzy,
right.
what up?
How's it going? I'll ask one, Patrick.
Good.
Antonio, what does it say just about your team? You mentioned that a lot of guys are sticking around, maybe coming back. What does it say about your team specifically in this new era of college football that a lot of guys are coming back and you have that retention that a lot of teams don't have?
I mean, it shows what this program's all about. Guys want to stay, guys want to play for Coach Elliott, and guys see I mean, obviously what we've accomplished this year is something special. And guys, we had that vision all way before anyone else had that vision. So guys from the get-go believed, they were committed, and we see something special in this program for the future. So guys want to be a part of it, and guys want to help this program continue to get better.